So this attack that happened, this is the crazy thing. Check this out. In Madison.
Okay.
It started over a dude who went to a restaurant with a megaphone and a baseball bat and was screaming about how Jesus was stolen. He was originally Horus from Egypt, and that the white man stole it. He's technically not wrong.
Yeah, lots of Christianity comes from paganism, Egyptian,
all religions,
everything.
Actually.
Yeah,
there's shared mythos.
Right, exactly.
And so some people argue it's because all these different religions are viewing the truth through a different lens at a different angle.
Okay.
This man happened to argue that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's like, if you're in different parts of the world, you're seeing a similar thing, but you're looking at a different way. So you see different things that not everyone sees.
Right.
So this guy was claiming that the white man or whatever stole Jesus. He's not white. There it is. I mean, Sean King said it. Then a guy shows up with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Then they arrest him, and then a riot breaks out.
So messed up. It's like everyone can have a God, and everyone, like, your relationship with God is your own. I'm not the most religious person, but it's like, if I imagine whatever my God would be, it doesn't have to be the same as yours.
But I'm not even concerned about.
So same with Jesus. It's like if you think you have a relationship with him, whoever it is, whatever it is, you choose what that is. It's like, man, all I see is just hate. People just hating, trying to throw shade everywhere, anywhere they can.
I don't think the issue so much as the religion is the fact that Sean King said Jesus was not white, burn it down.
Yep.
And then a day later, a guy shows up with a megaphone and a baseball bat screaming Jesus wasn't white.
Yeah,
he was Horus.
He put that idea in everyone's head. It's like, what are you doing?
Then the cops come in, they're like, yo, you can't megaphone inside a restaurant with a baseball bat.
You're right.
And when they arrested him, 200 rioters showed up. You know what these rioters did?
What?
They went into a private condo and were romping about. They surrounded like a tow vehicle. Hey, man, listen. You want to talk about what might happen? Fine. I think it's. I don't want there to be any kind of escalation. I want things to be normal again. Yeah. It was fun when we were just talking about Sonic the Hedgehog and Birds of Prey, and then all of a sudden everything went nuts.
Oh, I miss making fun of Birds of Prey.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'd watch it again just to make fun of it.
Oh man,
should we for old
no,
times?
Never again.
But listen, man, they're going in private homes.
Yeah, that's
they're
messed up.
beating up Democratic politicians.
I mean, they should be worried. There's a lot of guns now, everywhere. A lot of people got guns this year.
I just got a bunch of guns today.
Yeah.
Finally.
I was wondering if you were gonna
totally
say it or not.
Oh yeah, a bunch.
Lots of guns.
And so now, I was talking to some of these guys at the gun shop, and I was like, 6 months ago, I said I don't want any guns in my house. I do not want guns. Even after someone tried breaking in, I was like, you know what? I've thought about it. We got local cops. They're good dudes. They've helped us out. They were here in a minute. I don't think I want guns in this house. And now then COVID happened, yeah. And I was like,
Maybe.
And then nationwide riots, and we could hear the helicopters, and I was like, 1 gun, please.
1.
4 gun, please. 5. 6.
26.
12. I'm still waiting for the SIG from Crowder.
Yeah.
But apparently what they were telling me is that the suppliers are all dried up.
Oh, really?
The manufacturers are sold out.
Not surprising.
And so the shops are all getting cleaned out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. This one shop, the shelves are pretty empty.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they have squirt guns.
Yeah, I was calling.
They have squirt guns instead.
Oh, that's funny.
And so I went in there and I was like, Steven Crowder recommended a gun. They were like, don't got it. And I was like, really? What do you have? And then they showed me what they got, and then I bought a bunch of guns.
I'll take one of everything, please.
Pretty much.
This is what I think, a lot of these progressives don't understand when they're saying, like, Joe Biden can win. I'm like, I was asking some of the guys, I was like, what do you think it means that stores like this are selling out, like, they're struggling to get inventory. Guns are going nuts. First-time buyers are through the roof.
Yeah.
What do you think that means going to happen in November? Trump's going to landslide.
I think a lot of people, everyone says it's, you take the red pill. And it's like, that's not necessarily going Republican. That's just opening your eyes to the truth. And I don't even, honestly, Trump isn't necessarily Republican. He's not. He's not a classic Republican. It's interesting, when you really look at it all.
The New York Times actually did an analysis of the party's manifestos, like their party lines and the words they use.
Okay.
And under Donald Trump, since 2012, he pulled the party ever so slightly to the left.
Nice.
And Vox said that Trump ran as a moderate. Now, Trump certainly does adopt a lot of the traditional Republican positions.
Yeah.
But he is, come on, man. He's the first president to support gay marriage before entering office. Not even Obama did that.
That's true.
So Trump is slightly to the left.
Yeah.
The problem is the left has gone so far left, they think Trump is far right.
Yeah, so all these people that are buying guns, they might not be Republican, but
They're being moved.
they're certainly moving away from this crazy left that is running rampant through our country right now.
It reminds me of this skate video with Rodney Mullen, and they have this cart with a flat steel top, and they
Okay.
push it towards him.
Oh yeah, and he stays in the same spot.
He-
I know
yeah,
this
so
video.
so Rodney Mullen is pro skateboarder. He ollies stationary, and then does what is, I guess, simply called a wheelie, but the platform is moving underneath him, and he's staying in the same place.
It's a cool video.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then I think he flips out
He
of
does
it.
a lot of different tricks. It's
So-
not just the one trick.
Right.
Yeah.
This
cool.
That image in my mind is exactly how it feels. Here comes the Democratic Party, and you're just staying right where you are, and now you're off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you look at Donald Trump's,
And then in comes Trump. He's like, "Hey, I got you.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm kind of in the middle."
yeah,
Yeah. That's
He
what
is kinda
that's
in
what
the
I think. He's pulling a lot of people. I mean, hey, I'm not a Republican.
yeah, look at Adam.
Look at me. I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle. I have a lot of things that I agree
But-
with both sides, and I disagree with both sides. But I'm definitely in the middle.
this is what I was thinking the other day when I did that rant. It's like I'm talking to these dudes today who are basically like, Trump's going to win. I'm not worried about it. And I'm like, if you've been sitting back while they've been tearing down statues,
Right.
thinking, well, I'll vote November.
Yeah.
You know, look, man, Trump wins. The left goes insane. They burn everything to the ground, and you sit there saying, well, in 4 years I'll vote for Trump Jr.
Well, I was thinking about that. It's like, what can people do? A lot of people have asked me since the other day. They were like, Tim's yelling at me because I'm not doing anything. But
What am I supposed to
what-
do?
yelling at you.
What can
Yeah.
I do? What can I do, Tim? Like, some of them were getting upset at you. Like, I saw a lot of
I said
examples of people quitting their jobs. They did quit.
No,
They,
but-
they,
but
they
listen.
lost their income and are searching for new jobs because they're fed up with it. So like, what do those people do? Do they go out and stand in front of the statues, jobless?
No.
Or do they worry about where they're going to get income and focus on getting a job, which is what you'd think an average person would focus on, instead of putting themselves in harm's way when they aren't even stable themselves anymore, because they made that choice.
The price of freedom is high.
It's a good point.
It's very high. And it's a price I'm willing to pay.
Down by the river, Tim?
And if I'm the only one, so be it. But I'm willing to bet that I'm not.
But you were going down by the river.
I was just quoting Chris
That
Evans
was
from
Chris
Captain
I know,
America.
but
Evans.
I'm calling you out.
Well,
What?
No, you were saying it's like you'd go down by the river if things got heated.
And anyone else could too.
That's true, but that's
So-
the same thing as just letting people burn the statues down.
The interesting thing to no. Like I'm talking about when you lose and you've lost everything and there's nothing left. Go build a little mud hut down by the river. Now, what's funny to me is the people who have said, but Tim, I've got a family. It's so much easier for you to say. And I'm
Right.
like, no.
We were talking about
no,
that.
No, that's not true. That's
Yeah.
backwards. It's easier for you to say. You have kids? It's so much easier for you to say that you'd be willing to sacrifice everything for your children than for me.
yeah.
I don't have kids. At least yet. So I'm not necessarily scared for what the future holds for my kids. If you have kids, it's even it's easier for you to say,
scare you
I will
to
do
death.
everything in my power to ensure a future for my children. You want to know something interesting? We got baby birds out in the backyard in the deck.
Little babies.
And you want to know something funny? We let Buku out in the deck, okay?
Buku.
He's the kitty.
Yeah.
And he lurks and he walks over. And he walks over to where the nest is at, just underneath the panel because they're on one of the beams. And then the robin parent jumps out and starts screaming, knowing it's going to die because a cat will kill it.
It's true.
And it jumps up screaming, you will not hurt my children. And then the craziest thing happened. This is a true story. Happened like last week. Little tiny birds, I have no idea what they were, started swooping at me. And I was like,
Dive
what?
bombing
It's
us.
just, birds are coming after me, dude. And the kitty's sitting on the ground looking up like getting ready to pounce. And I'm like, no, we're going to get out
Go
of here.
inside.
Leave the babies alone. The good news is the baby robins survived.
They left the
They grew up
nest.
and they left the nest.
Oh, they're gone?
So
They're gone.
fast.
Nice.
But I saw that and it's like these birds know that it landed on the deck on the post in the corner
Yep.
with our cat sitting
Just
just
screeching.
screeching going wah, wah, wah. And I'm like,
Careful, Tim.
no, that was
I know you
fine.
got to conserve your voice,
But I'm inspired by that, man.
yeah.
That what's the difference between that little bird that has no power whatsoever to stop a human being and the cat willing to challenge us to a fight? I laughed and I looked at Bucko and I was like, that little bird thinks he can take us. He's no match for a kitty and his human ally. And it's true.
Yeah.
Yet he was willing to sacrifice everything for his children.
Well, a
So listen.
a lot of people forget that we are animals.
We are a part of this ecosystem.
We're animals.
We have very similar thought patterns and desires and drives.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you what, man, those robins haven't lost the perseverance,
what it
strength,
takes to live.
Yeah.
the survival instinct.
Mm-hmm.
So get it. I get
Survival
it.
of the
Listen,
fittest. Yeah.
I think something has happened where people are now conflating being able to buy a loaf of bread for your kids with actually providing for your kids.
You're
Now,
absolutely right.
I get it. I don't have kids. I know.
Survival of the fittest almost doesn't exist anymore. It's survival of who has the most money.
But think
It's
about
not
this.
the same thing.
What if your children and your wife, what if you had no access to a city? What if you had to be a real provider, going out and hunting a wild boar?
Yep.
Living in a, it's like you have
That's what I've
everything.
been talking about.
So
People
it's not-
don't understand what they actually have in this world.
It's not so much about you saying I could lose my job and can't feed my family. It's you saying we live in such luxury, I don't want to risk it. I don't want to actually go back to the days where a boat landed on the shores of North America and they got off the boat and they were like, bunch of trees. We're home, guys. And then they jumped off the boat and were like, set up a camp and there was no food. That's crazy, man. That mentality is gone. That's the mentality of that little bird saying like, I will mess you up. Even if it means I die, you will not touch my babies. Now it's like these people are saying, I understand you want to plague the minds of my babies. That's okay. That's okay. As long as we can have pizza on the weekends.
You know, it's interesting you're saying that because I've been thinking, I mean, we talk about this all the time, just society and, you know, where we're at nowadays. And I kind of started talking about, you know, the loss of the masculine male, you know, and like traditional, you know, families. And when you look at animals, any animal, the alpha male is the one that procreates the most, that survives. That's why we're still here, because alpha males have been fighting and conquering and technology and like boom, now we're here, and that doesn't exist anymore. We don't need the alpha male. So the alpha male is going away, and look what's happening. You know, look what
A bunch of male
society's
feminists,
turning into.
rapists.
Well, I mean, sure. So,
that
but
too.
but it's not that. It's society is coddling all of us.
Yeah.
We are all losing that because society has let us be comfortable. So it's society's fault as a whole that we are so comfortable that we're losing the need to have an alpha male, that to someone that's gonna, you know, maintain that, you know, survivability. You know, now it's all medicines. Now we just, you know, medicines make us live longer. Oh, I can pay for that. Oh, I got cancer, but I could just pay for that if I have enough money.
On Steven Crowder's website, they posted my rant.
Oh, did they? Nice.
Yeah. And in the comments section, because Steven actually hit me up. He's like, hey, we're going to, you know, give you some traffic. Just want to let you know your rant was awesome. Appreciate it. And I was like, cool, man. Thanks, Ryder. And so I went and checked it out, and I saw the comments. And someone mentioned that it's easy for Tim to say, but we have kids and we got to put food on the table.
Right.
And one of the responses, because you can go check this out, I think it's still there, was something like, we raised our kids totally normally. They went to college in Oregon, and now they've gone insane and disowned us for supporting Trump.
Wow.
And so it's like, you want to talk about doing everything right and giving your kids the food they need, and then they get indoctrinated and their brains get twisted into jelly.
Yep.
And you could have stood up and stopped it, but you were happier just making sure they had pizza on the table. You know, that they had their mashed potatoes and gravy and their steak. And those are all really important things, and I can respect that.
Yeah, food, sure.
But we're facing a cultural crisis right now where our founding fathers are being torn from their base. And I'm not talking about, you know, because people have tried arguing about slave owners, right? So at first they started going after the Confederate statues, and they're like, why are we honoring traitors anyway? And I'm like, you know, I gotta be honest. I would vote in favor of taking the Confederate statues down, putting them in a museum, and putting up a plaque. I think it'd be awesome to have a museum showing all the statues.
Right.
That'd be
That's a
really
good
great.
point. This is our history.
And that's my opinion. And then you put a plaque in this space that says like, this was once home to the statue of so and so. On this date at this time, we decided that we would put aside, you know, these symbols for these reasons. And I think it'd be cool. But then they started going after the founding fathers, and the argument was slavery. And I said, well, there's no like that. I will absolutely and always condemn the past, the failures of humanity, especially with slavery, and even today. The founding fathers created something truly great. So I think you're missing the point here.
Yeah.
Now they're getting rid of abolitionists. Now they're announcing they're going to tear down Lincoln.
It doesn't make any sense.
Right, and it never will. And so you give them an inch and they take everything from you. And so these people who think I can just sit back and say, well, as long as my kids have food, I'll be okay. No, it won't. They will come to your house like they did in Madison, where they went to this private condos. They will find your politicians and beat them. And then eventually your kids are going to be sitting there. Man, these photos are so sad. You have this like normal looking teenage girl with a smile on her face, wearing regular clothes, jeans and a t-shirt. And the next photo is like 2 years after college. And she's got this angry scowl on her face. One eye is like bigger than the other and her head's shaved.
Are you talking about de Blasio's daughter?
Yeah, that's
Not
what
specifically.
That's what I'm seeing.
No, but that's a great example.
Have you seen how they also do these weird snarl faces?
Yeah, I don't get
It's
that
like
either.
they have lost their minds.
Yeah.
And so you think your children are safe? You think you're saving your children by doing this? I'm sorry, man. I don't agree.
Do you think every kid that goes to high school or college is going through that and ending up like that?
No, of course not.
Well, what do you think the percentage is then?
I think it's really small, actually.
A small percentage.
Very small.
Okay,
yeah.
so
because I've
it is
actually
another minority group then that they're just reeing the loudest then.
and the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Okay.
Yep.
And as we learned from South Park and from history,
Mm-hmm.
the people who threaten the violence for some reason,
works.
everyone bends the knees to them, and then they get what they want. And that's what we're trying to stop. We want the rule of law back. We want people to be able to live and for the system to function properly, for people to have a real chance.
I think the people that aren't like that don't want violence and are trying to not be violent.
Yep.
But are 100% willing to be violent when it finally comes to their doorstep.
I disagree.
It's not at their doorstep yet, Tim.
Look at the guy. Look at the guy at the Macy's.
Okay.
You saw that video?
Okay. All this one example. It's like that one person. I'm not going to let that one person
right.
influence what I feel
They
about.
went into a private condominium,
Sure.
and romped about, and no one did anything about it, and they beat the crap out of a politician.
Okay.
So
Was he armed? No.
No.
Did they meet someone who was armed? No.
and I think Madison is Republican, isn't it?
I don't know. I
don't
can look
know.
it up though.
So I agree with you for the most part.
Yeah, sure. We're not seeing that yet. You know.
But I think people are going to lock their doors and they're going to say, "Please leave me alone." I think that's what's going to happen.
And when they break down the door,
That's too late. It's too late at that point.
no, they're going to get shot.
I don't think so.
What are you going to do when someone tries to break in?
That's different.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
How?
I'm not the average person who's cowering. I'm the person who actually stood up and said, "Tear up my contract right now."
Yeah, but they're tearing down the statues right now. They're doing. It's not you. It's the whole country now.
What I'm saying is, I'd be willing to bet, in many areas, many rural areas, you will get a shotgun blast in the face if you even walk in their house. There's a video of a guy who drove down the wrong driveway. I don't know, do you see this
Yeah,
one?
I saw that.
And the guy's like, he shot at his car.
Yep.
Like some people, man, I hear you. But in the suburbs,
But that's the beginning. We're not seeing it yet. This is the beginning, dude. Wisconsin is blue. Illinois is blue.
I think
Madison's blue.
right, but I think is Madison blue?
I'm pretty sure. I mean,
Probably, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned, because I'm not super familiar with it, but they'll probably mention whether. I'll see you guys in the chat. But
Madison is very liberal. Yeah,
It
everyone's
is.
saying. Yeah, the chat's.
yeah.
Yeah, it's giving me a
Pretty
bunch of
uniform.
stats. I can't figure it out.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.